Hello and welcome back to Paradox Computing. So we're picking up on our special on the quarrying turtle. Here we go. So we got this guy back. Another thing that will generate a fail for him if there's a player underneath him. That'll stop him from yeah, I'll tell them to go back up, and we'll show you in the code in a second how that is. But I've updated all of my turtles to have the latest image on them, to have the latest version of the dig down program on them. Shall we continue? When I say dig down, I mean Quarry program, of course. So let's go to edit Quarry, and we're down to the area where we discussed in the last episode ladders. Ladders. So here we are. And this is the updated version. So, if I is equal to yes and L is equal to 0, then total.play select slot 1, and we told our user to select slot 1. If you remember before, when we put the turtle down and it ran the program, it asked us if we wanted to place a ladder, then asked us, first it told us exactly what the program did, then it asked us to put a ladder down, and then it told us to say how far we wanted it to go to the right and how far in front. So those were the X and Y axes. But this is the bit that asks us if we want to put a ladder. So we're looking for the user to type yes. I is equal to whatever the user puts in. And L being equal to 0. Well, we'll get to that in a second. But if both of these criteria are met, then turtle.select1, select slot 1, and turtle.place. So place the ladder in front of him. Look at swim, my little friend. Look at that guy go. You can do it. Ha ha ha. Well, that's going to go on for a while, I think. But I think our creeper friends. Oh, he might win. Anyway, let's see if we can get that battle going on the side. There we go. So we'll keep an eye on that as we go through. So turtle play. Yeah, L. Oh, the creeper's losing. Yeah. So that basically just tells him to select the slot with the ladders in it and place it in front of him. Now, else. Okay, so if in our going down function, I'm assuming we're still in going down. Yeah, we must be, yes. So if, going down, if our turtle isn't able to do any of these things, and mainly if this result is actually equal to false, because that's going to be the big thing. So if the turtle was able to actually physically move down, if that's equal to false, basically it's going to skip to fail. That's our else. So if we can't do any of those other things, it's going to be this. So we'll add 1 to fail, and then don't worry about the return result. Basically, it's just going to end. So that's the going down function. That's how it detects if it's actually hit bedrock. Because if it's hit bedrock, then that it's not going to be able to move down. So that's going to throw up a fail. Or if there's a player underneath it, it's going to throw up a fail. Those are really the only two things. Cool. So going up. Going up is a lot easier than going down. Basically, as we were going down, we were adding to the y value the whole time. So we're just going to throw up another result. Now this is just make sure, say, if a player is standing on top of the turtle. Well, if we just tell the turtle dot up. Now if there's someone standing on top of the turtle, it would just try and perform this, and if it didn't do it, well then it would just keep moving on, and we need to be subtracting from y every time we go up. So if we just had turtle dot dig up and then y is equal to y minus 1, well, even if it didn't dig up, it would still minus 1 from y, and then our turtle's coordinates would be thrown off, and he'd be returning to the wrong places, and everything would go to hell. So what we have here is a result. So if the result is true, if the turtle is actually able to go up, and just watch this happen, because this is always fun to watch. Look at that. So our turtle's filled up his inventory, and now it's just dumped everything on the ground, which we can see here. Our obsidian pipe is now picking up, and that's feeding it straight to the condenser on the other end of that teleport pipe. So isn't that cool? And we got some nice stuff in there, it looks like. Some, I don't know, tin, maybe silver, iron, copper, nothing amazing, but stuff. So if is the turtle actually able to go up? And if that's true, then you can subtract 1 from y. Now this will be in this function's inside of a loop, so this other loop's going to keep going and going and going until we get to until we get y back to 0, basically. when y does get to 0, that means we've come all the way from the bottom all the way back up top. So yes. And that's just going to keep going. So if someone's on top of it, doesn't really matter. He's not going to subtract from y unless he's actually managed to move. So it's just a safety thing. It just means, if someone's messing around in your quarry, or if you're doing stuff in your quarry, you're not going to screw him up. So this is what prints up on the screen if all the information about the Quarry program, and tells the user to put, ladders in the top left-hand slot, etc. So then we write, shall I place a ladder? And that's where we get the value of I. And we're looking for yes. If it's anything else, so if the user puts in y, it's not going to work. We need him to need them, sorry, how sexist of me, to actually put in yes. So I is equal to io.read. Now, this clears the screen, as we've seen before, and then we type how many blocks to my right shall I go, and then we get the input from the user, and then we make sure it's a number, not a string. We've dealt with that in previous episodes, so go back if you're interested in that. And then we do the same thing, how many blocks in front of me shall I go, and we assign that to the z-axis in the same manner. Cool, so now we're doing the function down up. The logic through here is a bit haphazard. Basically it works, but I probably should have all these functions above this body of text, but this is just the way it worked out, and it's there's no copy and paste basically inside of Minecraft, so it's a bitch to change. Okay, so function down up. Man, so many noises in the background, aren't there? I'm just gonna turn that down. In fact, I'm just gonna turn that off for now. Those spiders and stuff seem louder than they should be for 2%. Okay, so nice peace and quiet now. Just the dulcet tones of my voice. Oh yeah. Okay, so this is down up. So this has those other two functions inside of it. The functions of going down and going up. So if we haven't generated any fails yet, and that's what going down does when it hits bedrock or a player's underneath it, then so if we don't have any fails yet, perform the function of going down until it generates a fail. Then we'll go on to the next thing. If y is equal to 0, which means if y were equal to 0, that would mean we've performed the going up function enough times to bring us back to the surface, because going up subtracts from y. Going down, every time we go down, we add to y, and then going back up, we subtract from y until so if we get to 0, that means we're at the surface. And if that's correct, then break. But basically, if it can't do any of those things, then it's going to perform the going up function. Yeah, so does that make sense? So while we don't have any fails, go down. If we're back up at the surface, that means we're finished. Otherwise, it means we're down the well and it's time to come back up. So that's it. Oh, and then this is where we do this L is equal to L plus 1. And if you remember when we asked, when we got to the ladder performing function, where we told the turtle to put the ladders down if the user had typed in yes. It was if I is equal to yes, so if the user has put in yes, or if L is greater than 0. Or, sorry, only if L is 0, sorry. So at this point, basically, the first time, all we wanted it to do was place a ladder only the first time it goes up and down. Or actually, just the first time it goes down, to be honest. But yeah. So we only wanted it to do it that one time. Otherwise, it's going to be building ladders all the time. In fact, once it ran out of ladders, it would just put whatever's in slot 1, regardless of what it is. And we don't want it to do that. So, yeah, what we're telling it to do now is add 1 to L, which means after it does it the first time, we're not going to be able to meet that if statement of if y is equal to yes and L is equal to 0. L will have a greater value than 0 after the first time it does it. That's it. That's all there is. Piece of piss. So function deposit. Okay, this is a fun little function. This is what actually tells our turtle friend here to actually empty his inventory and empty his inventory when he gets in front of the obsidian pipe. So how do we do that? It's good the way this works. Basically, I don't know why this is formatted like this either. This will be over 3, but we'll see him do it right now. So right now, basically, it's just selecting each slot in turn and dropping it, and that's it. function that tells him to go back to where he was is far more complex. But we'll just deal with this. Is him just emptying his inventory. So what we've got here is d is equal to 1. That will make sense in a second. So we got to tell the turtle to go forward. That's just trust me. So while true do, that's an infinite loop. Turtle select D. So right now D is equal to 1. So first it's going to select slot 1. Then we're going to say turtle.drop. So drop what you've got in slot 1. Now D is equal to D plus 1. So we're going to add 1 to the value of D. So that will make it 2. Now if D is equal to 10, then break. But we're not equal to 10 yet. So we've just made D 2. And now we're going to flip back around to the beginning of the while true do loop. And this time we're going to select slot 2 because D will be equal to 2. And we'll go through and we'll add 1 to D again, which will make D 3. We'll come through and select slot D, which will be 3. And so on it goes until we're at slot where D is equal to 9. So we select slot 9, we drop everything in there, then we add 1 and it becomes 10. And if D is equal to 10, then break the loop. So that's how we just selectively select everything in our inventory and drop it. And that's really easy. And then we just go back like we went because we went forward before. It's just a positioning thing. You don't really, yeah. So function there and back. Now this one's a bitch. Okay, so this is when our turtle is out in the world, so it could be, along this, or it could have come back and now it's on the, he's moved along the y-axis as well. So basically, if his, first time our turtle dug this out, he could be anywhere in here. And if his inventory gets full, he needs to know how to come up, turn, go back, and then go back to where the obsidian pipe was, which was just here. Actually, I think it was just here, but anyway. He needs to know how to get back to that obsidian pipe. So, this is how we tell him to do that. And remember, we've been keeping track of the X, Y, and Z axes. Mainly, keeping track of Y isn't so important in this because they're in... the function of up, down... Oh, here we go. So now he's actually moving along the Y. He's just added 2 to the Y-axis because he's now moved back. So he's managed to go 10 along the X-axis, which is all the way along there. And now it's coming back. Okay. So, yeah, keeping track of Y is only been important in the up-down. Up-down's automatic. Like, we don't really have to keep track of where he is along the Y-axis so much because, well, we do, but in a different way. It's really hard to explain. But basically, he'll come back whenever a fail is generated, right? So a fail will be if he's hit bedrock or if he's got something in slot 9. This works a bit differently. So this is basically the turtle will have already come up to the top. So he'll be back up top, but he'll be out in the field. So we just need to get him to come back along the x-axis, then back along the z-axis, and he'll be in front of the obsidian pipe. I hope that makes sense. So this is how we achieve that. So turtle.turn right. So he'll be up the top. So we need him to turn right. And then we got -1 off the X track. Now, X track has been, this is the first time we've seen X track. We've got X track and Y track. So the user determined what X was, so that's how far to go to the right. Now, X track keeps track of how far along that is. So once X track is equal to X, we know we've gone as far as the user wanted us to go. So, what we're doing here is X track has been being added to as we move across to the right. We need to -1 at this point. Just it's a math thing. Don't worry about that. And for now, this is a new statement. This is a new loop. Sorry, for. And it's kind of a pain in the ass to explain how it works. But basically, what we're saying in for 0 equals 1, X track, we're saying for X track do. So if X track was equal to 10, we're saying for 10, or perform turtle.forward 10 times. Yeah, for more on how for statements work, I'll post a link in the comments. In the description, I think, because it's basically like you've got to assign a variable. So this could be a variable. This could be anything, and then you assign it. I think like the 1 is the value, and that's the that's like the variable, and you can have like the interval, so you don't have to have it counting up by 1. You could have it counting up by 2 or 3. I will post a link, or I'll go into more detail in a later episode. But basically, we're saying for extract, do this. So if extract is equal to 3, it's going to do this. So it'll come back along on the x-axis for 3. That's the main thing. So if we're 3 along on the x-axis, this is telling it to turn right, so face this way, and then come back along on the x-axis. Cool, cool. And then we do the same thing on the z-axis. So we say turn left and then come back to Z, which should then put us right in front of our obsidian pipe, like this guy's right now. So he's just come on the Z-axis. He's now performing the deposit function that we saw before, which gets him to empty his inventory. He went back along Z, and then he went back along X, and now he's coming back down. So yeah, we go back along Z. We deposit all the stuff. We go back along Z for whatever Z is equal to. We go back along X, or we turn left and then go back along X, whatever that's equal to. We turn right, so we're facing the right direction. And then extract is equal to extract plus 1 because we minus 1 at the beginning, because we just have 1 too many at that point. Here you can see it's actually assigning the value. Oh, well, this is why we've got 1 extra on the extract, because extract is equal to 1. But I do actually need it to be equal to 1 at the very beginning. Otherwise it won't perform a function. So don't worry about that. It's not important. So function, start dig. So this is actually, you know what? I'm just gonna cool. We're gonna make this video a 3-parter. I think I don't want these episodes to go on too long. I think we could all use a break. I know I could use a drink of water. So stick around for the next video. Like, subscribe if you're enjoying this. If you're bored out of your mind, let us know in the comments. Bitch about it to the internet. Stick around, guys. Thanks for watching, and we'll be back for part 3.